So when we bought this motor from Trav, we didn't get any cylinder heads, no intake, and no distributor. So I need those because it's not going to run. So let's call him up, I should say, and see if he has them. It's my buddy Trav. He's got a YouTube channel called Trav Builds. I'll put the link in the description. Let's see if he's home and see if I get those from him.
Hello?
Hello?
What's up?
Nothing. Hey, you know that motor I got from you?
Yep.
Still got the heads and intake and shit for it?
Yep.
What do you want for it?
I fucking know what are you gonna give me for it?
You still need a table vise?
Yep.
I'll give you a nice big heavy duty one.
I suppose.
You home now?
Yeah. What's up?
You home now?
Hey, yeah, freezing my ass off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good old New England. Alright,
Tell me about it.
I'll grab the wife and dog and take a rip up.
Sounds good, I suppose.
Alright, see you after.
Alright, fuck off.
So, last time I was at Trav's house, he didn't have one of these, and I got that for free, so we'll give that to him for the rest of the stuff. Let's load the truck up. Let's go. Hey Trav, why do you have to live so far away in the woods? You should come move to the city. Be a city cat, right Grace?
Yeah.
Gotta get the guy's vice first.
What's up, fuckers?
Oh yeah, we're here at Trav's shop. Mr. Trav Builds over here.
Me.
What's up, buddy?
Dog.
And the dog.
Dog.
Go check out his C10 build. Follow it if you want to. And if you like Honda quads, he works on those too. Sometimes. And at least he's got good old 5.3 LS too. So this is what we're here to trade for. The intake manifold and the old paperweight heads that were on that 350. Terrible smog heads, but in a 1,200 pound car, it'll be just fine. It'll run. Push rods.
I think they're all...
Make it work. It's a rat rod. Everything's loaded up. Check out Trav Builds. Check it out.
Freezing my ass off.
Bye. Back at the house with the parts. Trav's house. This is the next day. Had a bunch of stuff going on yesterday. We got them home, and I'm looking at them. They've definitely been sitting for some time. He said it was a good running motor when he pulled it out of his C10, which I believe him. There is some rust in here, so I'm thinking maybe I'll just blow these out real good, clean them out with the air, try to get those water jackets just cleaned up as best as I can. Maybe I'll put something to dissolve the rust in there. As far as the cylinder heads, they don't seem bad. I think either cookie buffer or I'll do the old sandpaper trick where you glue sandpaper and you just let the weight of them clean them up a little bit. Just get them cleaned up. And I'm not doing anything crazy for this motor. It was a good running motor prior. Take his word for it. I do have a Summit cam, which is a little bit lumpy. It's got somewhat of a lump to it. It's the Summit SUM 1103. It's their house brand. It comes with a set of lifters. It was like $100. The cam itself sounded good on some of the hot rods that I had heard. Had a nice little lump to it. I guess it had low. It's like a camper cam, they called them back in the day. Like a low end / mid to 5,000 RPM. So a street cam for the old school motors. Just a little bit bump over of like stock, The only thing I'm worried about is with all the new oils and all the braking procedures, hydraulic cams are just still getting eaten up. And I really don't feel like putting this motor together and then eating a cam up and having to take it out. Granted, it's going to be an open front car, so the motor is going to be super simple to take out. But I'm leaning towards not doing it just because everything's worn in and ready to go. But at the same time, a little part of me is like, dude, just do it. And if it grenades, just buy like a 305 or something out of a van. Because, I mean, those things are everywhere. And what's a 1,200 pound car need for power? Like, I'm just cruising this thing. I'm not making no crazy race car, Did scoop a Edelbrock intake manifold. which I am going to run. It has the old school breather in the front, and he had given me these Edelbrock valve covers back in the day. They don't have any breathers on them. That's old school to where it all bleeds through here, which definitely causes these motors to leak oil like a sift, but that's fine. Everything leaks. Every small block and big block Chevy leaks. I don't care. I was looking at the surfaces. They don't look too bad. I think, like I said, a cookie buffer or some little bit of sandpaper on a flat surface. I got a table saw. I was thinking about an old table saw, gluing down some sandpaper to that. Just put them on, sand it, let the actual weight of them do that. We might lap the valves, and I'm not sure. Actually, I'm going to make some phone calls too. There was a couple machine shops around me that do like a quick freshen up. If I can get them freshened up for a couple $100, I'm probably just going to do that. That way I know they're good to go. I didn't pay anything for them. I traded them that. Essentially, that table vise I traded originally for the intake manifold. And these are like crappy 80s Smog 350 heads, like 76cc, low compression. So probably it would be worth my while to drop them at a machine shop, have them shaved down a little bit, but maybe get a little bit of bump. Might gain like, 20 horsepower or 10 horsepower, something like that. But that might be worth my while. The block itself, like I said, there's a couple of videos prior, if you go through my stuff, it turns over very nicely. The lifters are not frozen or anything. They rotate nicely like they're supposed to. They spin when you turn the cam over. So I fluid filmed and oiled and everything that this inside of this motor to make sure that this doesn't get any rust. Obviously, I'm going to have to clean that all out and put fresh oil in it and stuff. But yeah, I just want to throw some heads, the intake and the distributor in this thing and just run it. Like, small block Chevy. I mean, that's what people do with these things. The junkyard build them. They build them in dirty garages and barns. They throw them together and they go friggin' have fun with them. They've been doing that since they came out in 1955, right? Right. 56? 55. 56. 55. I don't know. I don't remember. One of the two. A couple phone calls tomorrow. I know it's the holiday. It's Thanksgiving Eve tomorrow. So some places are probably closed down. I won't be here back until next week, which is fine. I'm not in a hurry. My luck, I'll probably just clean these things out and have them go buy a case of brake cleaner and soak them in some dissolvents and have everything cleaned up and then just sand them myself. Who knows? Got some mounts in for these shocks. Do a quick little update. So these are the Harley shocks. Got these for $40 from a guy. A lot of people said I wouldn't run these on there. And then I read a lot of, like I said, information that people run Harley shocks. I got these sweet mounts. These are for a 3-inch axle. They're universal. That axle is 2 5/8. So I'm going to have to make some adjustments. I figure we'll just get these sunk down on the axle, get this part tacked in place, square where it needs to be. I'll just run a straight line from, where this is down, cut it, bring it up tight, weld it, and figure it out from there. Get those mounted in place. That when I actually kind of did like a test fit to where I put these all together, have the on the bracket, put the brackets on. Put them up to the rear end and the back, and they're roughly about the height where this frame rail is going to be. So my thought is get the rear in place with the radius rods, and then depending on, obviously the rear end's probably going to sit somewhere in the middle here. I saw a video where a guy used this frame on, or pictures of an old build where he used it on a 27 coupe like mine. And I don't think the rear was actually centered in the hump. I think it was roughly like here. It was offset a little bit to get it centered in the wheel well when the car was. But either way, if I run it there, I can always run a cross member here, across, and then make the shock mounts, obviously. But I think those are going to work out very well. My buddy Joe, he's like, I owe you a solid. So he gave me some old rods that he was using for steering, but these will definitely work for a panhard bar. I had to free up the Heim joints. They're moving nice now. I got some anti-seize and some fluid film on them. He gave me 2 of them, actually. I got that one and that one. I might make a Watts link, whatever they are, Watts link, whatever. I might do that, but I just think for my application here, just a simple panhard bar is going to be sufficient enough. I'm not running crazy horsepower. It's a one-wheel peel, you know what I mean? Today is Tuesday. We got the holiday coming up, obviously. This video is probably going to post on Saturday. And Saturday is my day off, my first day off from work, actually. And the wife will be at work. Gonna see if my mom can hang out with Ralph for the day or for a little while. And I'm really gonna try to get some work set up on that. So I think this next video is going to be me really unboxing and taking out the front beam kit, putting it together, getting the kingpin set and everything like that, get that whole front end assembly assembled, and then kind of start getting that bolted up to the front perch here, which is right here. And then I also have the radius rod mounts that if you turn here, the leaf spring bolts here. You have your front axle beam, your kingpins and your spindles, your tires. The radius rods come back right around here-ish, I think. And then I have brackets that need to be welded and squared up to here. So my thought is Saturday, get the front beam set up and assembled to where it's ready to go on, measure, get my at least radius rod mounts tacked into place, square the front end with the frame. My friend Dan wants to come give me a hand because he does like circle track stuff, so he's got like toe plates and all that kind of stuff, so we can kind of set the front tires to where they're gonna be, not perfect, but kind of get them in the general area to where the car can be rolling. And then Saturday, like I said, I'm hoping to get that done, and then depending on how much I get done, maybe we'll start working on getting the back end mocked up and getting the radius rods in place for that, as well as getting the rear axle. I've been on the hunt for a flange that bolts to that rear S10. It has like a round flange. It's a 4-bolt flange, and the U-joint goes to it. That rear end is from a S10 two-wheel drive extended cab, so it had a weird double U-joint in the back, which is very weird, but I should still be able to figure out the pinion angle with the flange that's on there, with my angle finder and a straight edge. As far as the small block, depending on when I get the heads done and get the engine and everything like that assembled, I cleaned the bell housing up. Obviously, it was been soaking in there for a while, but I got to clean it up just a little bit more, get some of the grease and grime off just so it's clean, so I don't have any of that going into a brand new clutch. Clutch kit. Gonna run like an LUK. Have LUK in the C5. LUK actually makes factory clutches for Chevy for these cars and like C6 Z06s. So that's why I ran that in a C5. There's a video on that in my videos. If you want to check that out, go ahead. But I'm going to run the LUK right from Rock Auto. Stuff for the old small blocks is relatively cheap. I put in for 76 Camaro because that's what that 4-speed's out of. And I think the whole clutch, flywheel, everything's like $125, and then it's like $25 to ship it here to my house. The only thing that I'm not going to do is run a clutch, like a fork. And I'm not going to run the traditional throwout bearing. I'm going to go with Speedway's hydraulic because I plan to run the underneath the floor brake and clutch assembly, which essentially is a bracket that welds here, and it puts your pedals that come up this way into the floor. That way I can run a hydraulic clutch. I could go old school and I could make brackets and stuff and fabricate and do all that, but I do like my new school stuff on some stuff. This clutch on this thing is butter. So Speedway sells a hydraulic conversion. It's like $120 or $130. It's not crazy for the price. So that brake pedal assembly though, whoo, it's like $550. That's gonna hit the wallet. But at the same time, it's like, and it's TCI too, which is TCI is what I have for rear suspension, the 51. They have really, really good stuff. So some of the stuff I'm okay with spending the money on. Some of the stuff I'd like to repurpose and stuff like that. But for the safety issues of this car, and I think I've talked about that earlier in the videos, I want everything safe for this car to go down the road. And the main reason with that is it was just me and I was single, not married, and whatever. I'd be like, no one loves me, I'm going to send this thing, right? But the simple fact that, you know, I got my wife, my mom, my dad, my brother, his girlfriend, like people, there's people that are probably going to go in it and or drive it. So I just want to make this car as safe as possible going down the road. My other intentions, and I think I mentioned it in another video, is once I get this body mounted and channeled, out to a shop in Munson hopefully and have a roll cage put into it. I'm not sure if I'm going to do like a 4-point cage. I'm thinking more of like a Jeep style roll bar. That way there's like something around the top of the T because they're really tall and it has the room for it. And make some bars in case they get smoked on the side, because literally the thing's like a sardine can going down the road. And then something in the back. Not that I plan on rolling it. I have rolled the car before. Not planning on rolling it and doing any of that crazy stuff. I'm not drag racing the car. I'm not doing any of that. Like, I'm building a cruiser. I want to take this thing, small block Chevy like I do 51, and I want to go to Rat's Nest in New York. I want to go to the Rumblers in New York City. If there's some crazy thing in New Jersey or somewhere, there's a Dead Man's Curve down there, I want to take this down there too. Like, I want to drive my cars. I enjoy it. The only thing I don't really drive as much anymore is the Corvette, and I shame myself for that. But I really want to just get this thing really safe, really fun. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me ramble, I should say. This next video, we're going to get started on everything, so stay tuned for that. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you again next time. Ralph's barking. Gotta go.